Welcome top news today.
Omarosa Manigault Newman seems to be committed to giving celebrity Big Brother viewers hoping to hear insider dirt on the Trump White House all they could wish for. The former West Wing staffer, who Politico reported Tuesday was fired for violating federal government policies for using the White House car service as a pick-up and drop-off service, returned to the medium that first made her famous reality TV. Last week, the former Apprentice contestant told a fellow cast member that Americans should be scared and that it's not going to be okay. This week, Manigault Newman, who is an ordained minister, sharpened her attacks on Vice President Pence, a respected leader among conservative white evangelicals. She told fellow contestants, "As bad as y'all think Trump is, you'd be worried about Pence," she said. "So everybody that's wishing for impeachment might want to reconsider their lives. We would be begging for days of Trump back if Pence became president. He's extreme," Omarosa said of the vice president. "I'm Christian. I love Jesus. But he thinks Jesus tells him to say things. I'm like, Jesus ain't saying that." It's easy to dismiss Manigault Newman's comments as the meaningless musings of a jilted former staffer. But what concerns her about Trump's number two is exactly what drew many evangelicals to support Trump in the first place, and continue to support him. More than 80% of white evangelicals backed Trump and Pence in the 2016 election. Pence has the bona fide evangelical credentials and conversion narrative that have convinced many evangelicals that the Trump presidency is capable of guiding the nation back toward conservative Christianity. Family Research Council President Tony Perkins, who has praised Pence for the role his faith plays in his policy-making, told Politico that evangelicals support Trump because they were tired of being kicked around by Barack Obama and his leftists. "And I think they're finally glad that there's somebody on the playground that is willing to punch the bully." And while not a brash fighter like the president, Pence has been engaging the culture wars far longer than his boss, something celebrated by Capitol Ministries founder Ralph Trollinger. The former National Basketball Association player now leads a Bible study at the White House sponsored by Pence, according to the Christian Broadcasting Network. CBN White House correspondent Jennifer Wishon wrote that Trollinger sees important similarities between Pence and biblical figures such as Joseph, Mordecai and Daniel, men who served in the No. 2 position in governments during biblical times. Mike Pence has respect for the office. He dresses right, like it says Joseph cleaned himself up before he went to stand before the Pharaoh, he told CBN News. Mike Pence has uncompromising biblical tenacity, and he has a loving tone about him that's not just a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal, he continued. And then fourthly, he brings real value to the head of the nation. It is this view of Pence that is part of why evangelicals back Trump, a twice-divorced president accused of sexual assault, who is profane in his characterization of other Americans with whom he does not agree and does not appear to display some of the same values that many conservative denominations of Christianity espouse. But the question Americans outside of evangelicalism are asking themselves is, what impact could Pence's faith have on the majority of Americans who do not share his conservative Christian-based beliefs? Pence's past views and policies on LGBT issues have become part of the storyline during the Olympics, after bronze medalist Adam Rippon reportedly declined the opportunity to meet with the vice president in part because of Pence's past comments on LGBT issues. Pence, like many conservative Christians, has expressed opposition to same-sex marriage based on his religious beliefs. Vice President's worldview is part of why gay rights organizations such as the Human Rights Campaign have called the Trump White House one of the most hostile to LGBT rights. And while at least partial credit goes to Pence for the Trump White House being called the most supportive administration of conservative evangelicals in history, Americans who do not share Pence's faith are wondering what "Make America Great Again" means for them. And to Manigault Newman's other point, while evangelicalism is the most influential faith within the GOP, a multitude of Christian denominations exist outside of Pence's staunch views. The vice president has consistently championed religious freedom, which has been well received by conservative evangelicals, many of whom say they felt persecuted under the Obama administration. But whether other Americans of faith, or without faith, believe Pence will advocate the worldview in Oval Office meetings could determine just how much they support or oppose the GOP in upcoming elections. America is becoming an increasingly pluralistic society religiously, according to recent Pew Research Center surveys. Having leaders committed to addressing the concerns of a broad swath of Americans, regardless of their religious views, will be key to victories in the 2018 midterm elections and beyond.